The Patreon supporters got to see preview, work-in-progress shots, and high-resolution images of the completed figure. If you want to join them, all you have to do is donate even the smallest amount. Link is in the description below. And it could really help me out now because in a few months I'm set to lose my job due to Toys R Us closing. So I could really use some more support on this, it'll help. Hello out there, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with the last part of Jacob's commission. It is Rouge the Bat. Yes, once again I am making a Rouge figure. I've done her quite a few times, and this will be no different than all the others. Of course, like most of the figures I make these days, the base is a hodgepodge of parts I had left over from other customs. It's Silver's torso and arms with the legs of a tails, and shoes left over from the Blaze figure that I used to make Tangle a while back. Although the head, not pictured here, would come from a Wave figure, because similar eyes. Now, with what I've learned from Knuckles and now Amy's heads, I realize that maybe more figures are actually made out of more parts than I thought. And indeed, it turns out that with Wave the Swallow, you can actually just peel off her bandana, revealing that the top of her head is just a big peg that the bandana goes on. Normally, I'd sand this away and then try to sculpt over the scar, but now I can just sculpt the entire top of the head and make it look significantly smoother. Although her beak is still in there, I removed it temporarily so I could cut off the pointy bit and then sculpt on something that looks more like Rouge's muzzle, but then I put it back in after I painted the head. Now there's just one little issue, and that this really looks like Rouge has a black eye. Like, you cannot see this with the naked eye, but every time I took a picture of it, it just kind of comes glaring out. It's a purple halo of the still visible plastic that makes Wave's head. Normally this is covered by the shadow of the muzzle and the fact that it's like underneath, but the camera flash just reveals this purple plastic through the white paint, which you cannot see with the naked eye, but really makes the head photograph ugly. I had no idea how to fix this. Just be assured, you cannot see this weird default in the eye when you have the figure in hand. I promise. Man, this microphone sucks. I really wish my old one didn't crap out on me. Now, there's more to making Rouge's body out of Silver's than just pinching the waist down a little bit. You gotta sculpt up her, features, let's call them. So as usual, there's a little bit of a toy boob job here with the little cleavage-enhancing heart-shaped top that Rouge likes to wear all the time. But Rouge is not top-heavy, she's curvy, meaning you have to enhance the buns a little bit too. In this case, I cut Silver's tail off, added a little bit of booty, and then put the tail back in. Once put back together, you can see how everything kind of matches top and bottom for Rouge. Although the body does look really short, but then again, we're all used to seeing fan art of Rouge, which is way more humanized, so she looks sexier, but, yeah, this is kind of in the proportions of the actual in-game video game character, which is still kind of weird to look at when you think about it. Now, as for the legs, I thought that I would stick Blaze's shoes onto Tails' legs and then stick that into the body, but it was way too long. Silver has really short legs for the rest of the characters, so when you put other characters' legs into his body, they just look really like stilt legs. They're way too long, especially with Blaze's high heels. It just made the problem even that much worse. So of course I had to shorten the legs quite a bit and then sculpt over everything to make it look like one smooth piece. Of course I couldn't block the knee joint, so I had to pinch off at a certain part, which kind of makes her legs look really weird and cone-shaped. Jazzwares, Tomy, why don't you just make an official Rouge figure? It's really hard to make the feet look right using parts from other figures. That means all that was left was to make the arms. Her almost shoulder-length opera glove things are replicated by just sculpting a glove cuff up on the bicep, which is almost no space because, let me tell you, these arms are less than half an inch long. And the hands, I just kind of sculpted a way to hide the glove cuff because I wanted to preserve the wrist joint. This does leave a little bit of an obvious, like, oh yeah, that's where the hand begins and at the wrist. But, I figured having wrist joints is better than not having wrist joints. So yeah, those are her arms, and the gloves are made out of a thick craft foam. It's like twice as thick as the regular craft foam that I use, and it holds its shape better. So I figured it would be better for her wings, which I attached to her back. And well, the only way to show how they're attached to her back is to show the completed figure. So let's take a look at that. Her wings are made of craft foam, not her gloves. I don't use scripts, I just kind of talk off the cuff when I make these videos. This lends a little bit of authenticity, I think. But yeah, that's the Rouge figure. Oh man, I just can't help but be distracted by that black eye look she has with the purple around her right eye. But I swear, you can't see this in the figure in real life. It's just not visible. But yeah, that is the Rouge the Bat figure. She's every bit as posable as any other Jazzwares figure that I've customized. It's just, she looks kind of weirdly short. I don't know, there's something about this Rouge figure, like, I can't really find a discernible flaw, but she looks off to me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just my own critical eye. I hope you guys like it. This is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.